Hello, hello, I'm back in a different game this time. It's called Satisfactory. And if you've played Satisfactory, you may know it's a mod launcher. It's not official, but they are planning to make some official mod support to the game. And today I'm going to address some obvious misconceptions about the smart mod. Um, and I'm going to talk about just mods in general, if they really are that great as people say they are. Firstly, I think mods are not cheating at all. Many people like to say that if you use mods, you can't counter it as actually like doing progress in the game, and I completely disagree. Um, Using mods can improve your like security with the game. You can get more comfortable with building and just all in general, and just building and getting a feel of the game. But today I'm going to talk about how you actually use the smart mod, because it's a mod that claims it's very smart, and it indeed is, because it adds infinite copying. So as you can see, I can infinitely place basically anything to conveyors, to mergers, every direction you possibly can. So just quickly how you use those features. First you hold something like a merger splitter. You can also use like a foundation or something like that. So basically what you do is you can rotate obviously with the mouse wheel back and forth to change your red arrow that is shown always if you don't change anything in the menu, of course, by pressing M on your keyboard. But yeah, the red arrow is basically shift direction. So shift direction means that the way the arrow is pointing is the way the shift mechanic will work. So shift is you hold shift down, and now I can this is basically locked, if that makes sense, until I not hold this shift key anymore. And if I hold this shift key and scroll with my mouse wheel, you can see in the top right the number gets larger, that is the X value, and you can see the blueprint or schematic of your foundations are getting placed. So I can place, for example, 5 foundations just like that. That allows for pretty easy placement of things in the game. And you also have the alt mode, which basically does the shift mode but in the different directions. So in theory you can just do everything from shift mod, unless you want to add like this two-dimensional thing. But it's really, really smart in my opinion and obvious. And if you hold down shift and alt, you can see the blue or purple blue arrow showing up, and that's basically vertical. So you can take down, up. So I could make like a 4x4 cube here if I really wanted to, by just scrolling every direction 4 times, and you have a 4x4 cube. Now I don't know why I did this, because this is going to be a hell of a cleanup job now. Just hold on a second. So yeah, I don't think the smart mod is that buggy and laggy as people may seem it to be, even though it has some flaws in it that may be fixed in obviously later patches and releases. But that's up to the creator, obviously. And one other thing with the smart mod is the fact that you can copy your building information. So I can just do this just for the sake of the video, just doing random things. But let's say, for example, I wanted 10 of these same constructors, and let's say I all wanted them to produce 14.9 per minute, just for the sake of it. And many people think that because in the video he says that you middle click and it copies it in a way. Now this is not true. You need to actually either hold something down from the beginning, so just going to something random like a miner, and then mouse middle click it, Now we have copied it. Or you can just press F to delete and then mouse click and it will do the same thing. And you can also copy this. So let's say I wanted 10. I would do 9 more because there already is an original. And now all of these would be constructors. Now sadly, in the version I'm playing on, it doesn't copy the insides, but the game already has a copy settings and paste settings feature, so that helps a lot with that feature. And one other thing, I can probably place those constructors back because I'm actually going to use them for something. The other feature is that the same works with obviously assemblers. It works with most buildings, like, and most things in the game. It just copies the thing and you can just paste it wherever you want. So another thing the mod claims to do is automatically syncing up with like splitters to different buildings, and it does. So if you noticed, when I was at the assemblers there, you noticed that these actually do work. If I have a splitter, one will auto connect to my either best conveyor or the one I have here, the belt level. I can set it, but I have it auto, which means just it's the highest level most likely. But what this mod does is now when I shift and drag it, it will snap automatically to the next constructor and between those splitters. So you won't get an even split with this, obviously, but it's still pretty good if you want to play the game. Now the bugs that are currently in this version of the mod is that if you go too close, it kind of bugs out, and it will actually, I can just show you, it will place a conveyor inside the actual constructor, which is obviously not something you want to do, so just be careful for that when you're using this version of the actual mod. So yeah, it works with constructors as I show you, and if you have a merger, you can see this with assemblers, on the output you can do the same thing with mergers. So you can very easily just hook up a bunch of things to a merger system to get it all on one conveyor. So you're probably wondering, is this mod smart enough to detect if it's going to split on both of these inputs? And yes, it is. All you do is that you take your splitter, and as you can see, it just automatically snaps to the inputs. Now, one thing here is very carefully not take it too close. This I don't recommend because it can be buggy, so I recommend putting it one away there again from where it actually shows, so 2 away. And then you can also do this, which looks so good in actual sites. I have actually used this on the base I'm working on right now, which we can go over and see. You can see my assemblers here making circuit boards actually have this configuration, and it looks so good with these primary at the bottom and the secondary at the top. It's very clean, and just all in general I recommend it so much because it saves you a lot of that time you would spend on actually evenly sorting your stuff out, which you obviously want to save time on. It's time consuming and it takes and you just don't want to do it. So now you're probably wondering, oh my god, can you do the same thing with foundries? Well, yes you can. If I just place some foundries here, you're probably wondering, are they gonna do this the same way? Yes, obviously. They have been a bit lazy in the game and just basically copy pasted the background. So it is just like this, and then you just boom drag it and it will work. Same with the output, you just take a merger and do that. one thing I have found which is so much more useful than the constructor, assembler, and probably the foundry all in together is the manufacturing splitter. This splitter is so smart. I absolutely love it. Look at this, guys. Now this is really important that you take it a bit out, because obviously this will look really funny because it isn't even possible in the actual game, and it will not work, I'm pretty sure. So yes, you can just take like different levels, lifts, or into even like another floor underneath or above like this, and just have like the conveyors, but this does look pretty good, and you can insanely do it really fast, just like this. Just like that, you have placed like 100, like probably 2 or 3 minutes worth of just placing random shit that you don't want to waste your time on. And it doesn't look that bad in some bases. You can make this work like very good and make this look very good and fit perfectly in your base. Now, one thing that I have not seen in the mod, but I can test it, is if the same thing works with pipelines. Now, yep, as you can see, they don't, because obviously you can rotate them, so you can't actually do anything with the copy paste. So that's pretty sad. It works on the output or the inputs of the foundry and the outputs, but unfortunately not the fluid output and input. That's a shame. Yeah, I find this mod very helpful, and another mod I find very helpful is the cheap hover pack mod. As you can see, I am way before aluminium in my save, and I have the hover pack which adds the recipe you see at the top there, which just needs 5 versatile frameworks, 15 steel pipes, and 50 rotors, which is pretty easy to get in a starting world, because it just takes some one space elevator or something like that, and just easy assembling. Now the other mod is the level mod, and this is very helpful in my opinion, because you can increase the hoverpack speed and range by just being AFK and stuff like that, and just playing the game, which is really helpful, because you can see that this is not normal speed or range. Like, these aren't even connected to power, and I can be all the way over here before, and even I can fly over here and stuff like that, which is obviously not normal, which I can show you if I actually reset these. You can see that I instantly fell down, and I need to be this close, and my speed is so much less. But oh, sorry for that e-rape. So yeah, I just like having those there for easy use, and just very much more easy travel. Another thing that is very helpful is the increased inventory. It's very much needed and actually useful if you are going for a save, which you're just going for to automate a bunch of stuff, like I am, just because it helps with having a lot of motors, having a lot of heavy modular frames on you, having a lot of plates, having a lot of concrete. It really does help, and it will also help if you want to like move stuff in the game. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is probably the most controversial mod, or not controversial I would say, but like people say very much that it is basically like cheating, because you remove like half the interesting part about the game, and that is the buildable resource nodes. Now, I find this very helpful for new players, and I really recommend new players to use this mod, because you can start actually learning about the game, and then after that play a vanilla or without this mod enabled, and you can just, but with this mod enabled, you can toy around. As you can see, I have insane amount of like resources that I need for this stuff, and I don't need to worry about it because I can place just pure nodes and pure even crude oil nodes, which is very helpful in the game. As you can see, like this, I have not done the math like precisely of how much iron and concrete and coal I need. I just hooked a bunch up and it just works. I also have this auto smelter. It doesn't really do that much, but it just makes your whole factory a bit more compact. Just so you don't have to have smelters and constructors for everything around your base, because that would be a lot of constructors very quickly if you wanted to automate a bunch of something. So yeah, I am sorry for the FPS. I know it's really bad. It's not bad on my end. It's just the recording when I turn to a mega base and actually are in a lot of assets rendering. It just lags out basically the whole game. But yeah, that's the smart mod little helpful guide. It didn't show you that much, but it can help some people get, started. So yeah, just remember that you have to have a blueprint or FO menu open to actually use the mod. Many people misunderstand it and just think that they can use the mod without having shift enabled, which you obviously can't. Now I'm just going to fix up my base. So yeah, bye. I am probably going to make some more videos. I have been wanting to do it, but I have a lot of tests recently that is coming up in school, so I might not be able to. I'm gonna try to make some of these like small videos that just takes like 15 minutes to make or something like that. But yeah, bye.